From a Writer's Perspective, Season 1, Episode 4. From Lines in the Gravel, That Darned Old Happy Man and His Samuncrium. Dad was always carrying on some kind of Samuncrium. There is so much behind that statement that it is difficult to describe, but I'll do my best. Sometimes there are words that do not translate into English. My friend Dusty, a lifelong missionary, will sometimes insert a Spanish or Portuguese word into an otherwise English sentence because the word more fully expresses what he intends to convey. Samuncrium is one of those types of words. Samuncrium is an example of an aboism, a peculiar set of words and phrases that are mostly unique to my family. Some are formerly common sayings from back in the day, but my dad or his dad invented most of them. Dad's nickname from childhood is Abo, so I have dubbed the lexicon Aboism for posterity's sake. Dad argues that they should be called popisms, since my grandfather coined many of the terms, but I'm writing the book, so Aboisms they forever shall be. Samuncrium may be defined in three different contexts. 1, an aphorism used to express disbelief. Any of my siblings. Dad, Al said he gets the last piece of cake because he is the oldest and smartest. Dad, all Samuncrium. 2, a lighthearted but slightly aggravating frivolity. You're always carrying on a bunch of Samuncrium. And 3, an instance of said frivolity going too far so as to instigate familial antagonism. All right, you young'uns, cut out all that confounded Samuncrium. In Dad's case, the second context was where he could most often be found in relation to the word. Dad was always carrying on some kind of Samuncrium. His incessant whistling was a constant, from tunes from his childhood or those invented along the way. Oh, how I wish I could take you inside my mind as I am writing this, so you could read with the same soundtrack with which I write. If he wasn't whistling, he was singing. Seemingly every word reminded him of a song, some of which you would recognize and some of which you wouldn't. Do Your Ears Hang Low comes to mind as one of his favorites. If Dad wasn't whistling or singing, he was always carrying on some kind of Samuncrium with his collection of aboisms, adding to them as life events inspired. In moments of uncertainty, for example, he would deepen his voice and ask, "What's I'm gonna do?" Translated, "What am I going to do?" That came from old Big Jim, one of Dad's co-workers. Dad's Samuncrium only seemed to be fueled by a day at work. I guess he spent all day with an assortment of co-workers, always up to some sort of shenanigans. On and on it went, day after day, always some kind of Samuncrium. Mom could have easily become irritated with Dad and all his Samuncrium. After all, she worked hard all day keeping up with us 4 children, doing all the tasks of motherhood that would need repeating the following day, and the day after that, and the day after that. After she returned to the workforce when I was in 6th grade, only to come home to helping with homework, cooking supper, cleaning the kitchen, settling disputes, and so forth, she probably had little energy left to put up with Dad's antics. Mom, however, chose a different path, the path of amusement. She took to calling my dad that darned old happy man. When Dad was up to some kind of Samuncrium, Mom would feign exasperation, a slight smile, an almost indiscernible shake of her head, and a hint of fondness and love as she would say, "There goes that darned old happy man." I suppose she knew that there are worse stations in life than to tolerate a man who liked to express his perpetual state of happiness. Perhaps the harmony of their relationship in that regard is why now, as the leader of my own family, I am always carrying on some kind of Samuncrium. I'd like to think it's because I've become a darned old happy man.